Hi, I'm Bob Rudosi. I'm here to demonstrate for you a high-performance prosthesis. I'm going to go over some of the componentry, how I'm operating it, some of the control motions involved. This is a self-suspending or supracondylar prosthesis. It's composed of a socket and a forearm, a wrist, and a terminal device. This is a body-powered device, and this is a voluntary closing body-powered prosthesis. It fits on with an intimate fit at my elbow. I go into it and twist onto it, sort of like an old style car light bulb. It gets its suspension off the medial and lateral condyles of the elbow and the olecranon. So this prosthesis cannot pull off. The prosthesis, as I said, is equipped with a very high performance cable system. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you what the harness looks like. This is a figure 9, Northwestern figure 9 harness. I can drop it off my shoulder that easily. It's composed of what is referred to as an axilla loop. It has a ring component to it, which allows for articulation of the strapping. It has a rapid adjust buckle. This is a high-performance polyethylene type material. It has a hanger, a high-performance Python cable system, a cable housing. This is a ELF elbow flexion crossbar strap. This is a Sherlock cable locking mechanism. This is a grip 3 prehensor. And this is a new binary swivel connecting the cable into the terminal device or the prehensor. The way I operate this system is through control body motions. They're called prosthetic control motions. There are several of them that I'm going to identify for you. The first is a simple one, reaching. Essentially, it's called glenohumeral flexion. So reaching your arm system out allows me to close and pull on this cable, much in the same way a bicycle brake. When you squeeze on a bicycle brake, you get braking action at the calipers at the wheel. As I exert tension, I can actually control this cable. So I go beyond the length of the cable and I pull the thumb closed. The thumb is biased open with a spring, so it automatically opens. You can see it's a very natural reaching and grasping action. So glenohumeral flexion. A second motion that I use is called bilateral scapular abduction, which is also shoulder rounding. You can see me rounding my shoulders. That pulls on the cable. Finally, the last motion that I employ is elbow flexion control. This elbow flexion or ELF strap allows me to create leverage around my olecranon, around the axis of my elbow. And as I bring my prosthesis into flexion, as I create forearm flexion, I actually get closure of the terminal device. When the prosthesis is harnessed properly, when it's down by my side, it's pulled partially closed. It's not fully open. So you can see when it's relaxed down by my side, the thumb of the prehensor is partly closed. Glenohumeral flexion, bilateral or unilateral scapular abduction, and elbow flexion are what create closure. Now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you what it takes to relax the device. Shoulder elevation and scapular retraction. So shoulder elevation opens the device as well as scapular retraction. And I'm exaggerating these. Shoulder elevation, scapular retraction. So all of these motions combined give me the ability to operate a prosthesis. One of the best ways to learn to use a voluntary closing device is to start out grasping a hard object. So this is a magic marker type container. I'm going to hold it in my hand. I can squeeze on it very hard. I'm having to maintain tension in the system to hold on to it. Now I have the ability to engage it and lock with the Sherlock mechanism, but I'm not going to use the Sherlock. I'm going to hold on with constant tension because I'm trying to train myself how to use this prosthesis. Now I'm going to move this. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to hold on and I'm going to move it around. I'm going to actually keep my eyes open in this case and I'm going to track where I'm holding this. I want to hold it in different body zones, and I want to maintain control over the tension. I'm going to use it above my head. I'm going to use it in various parts in front of my body and down by my side. Now, to go to a next step, I'm going to close my eyes. And the reason for closing my eyes is it forces me to use the feedback that I'm getting in the harness, the biofeedback, the tension in the system for control. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to make a closed circle in front of me. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to reach up. I'm going to go to different body zones, and I'm going to maintain tension in the system, and I can feel that tension in the harness, so I'm not going to drop this object. If I relax, I'm going to drop it. So holding on to a hard object, going through space, both first visually and then with your eyes closed, handling in different body zones will teach you how to use a voluntary closing device. Next, it's important to try something that's fragile. It requires greater control, greater concentration. So I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to use visual cues. I'm going to go through the same circular motion in front of me, going through the body zones. You can hear the cup crackling a little bit. That's actually giving me some feedback that I'm in fact squeezing it a little too tightly. I'm going to reach up. I'm going to hold it above my shoulders. I'm going to reach up, down, and hold it by my side. I'm maintaining tension on it without crushing it. Now, if I was to engage the Sherlock, I can hold this cup with no tension at all. I can move it around and not having to worry about maintaining tension. But this is an auxiliary system that's available for us. Now I'm going to go through the exact same things, same motions. I'm going to close my eyes. Again, closing my eyes forces me to rely on the feedback I'm getting. It's a directly proportional system. The harder I squeeze, the more resistance that I get back. So if I squeeze this too hard, you can start to hear the cup crackle. That audible feedback gives me a guide and gives me an ability to discern whether I'm applying the right amount of pressure. So I'm going to start, I'm closing my eyes, I'm moving it around in front, and I'm trying to maintain tension without crackling the cup. I'm going to raise it above my shoulders, I'm going to move it around in front of my body, and I'm trying to maintain equal prehension. So I'm not crushing the cup, I'm not dropping it. And with practice, you can learn to do this like I'm doing it with very little damage to the cup. Finally, when you become a little bit more skilled, one of the best things to learn to do is to take something like a beanbag or a cush ball, and you can learn to reach and grasp. Reaching and grasping quickly and tossing and catching are a final stage of learning your ability to actually use a voluntary closing prehensor. I'm spontaneously reaching and grasping. The device itself and the harness design allows me to follow natural movements. It's harmonious to my natural biomechanics and gives me the ability to do something like this. And anyone with a little practice with a voluntary closing device can learn to do this. And when you've learned to achieve that kind of control, then you've probably, you're at a peak of learning. And it's important to continue to practice, but when you can do something like this with a voluntary closing device, your skill level is pretty high at that level.